Last night, we began our A to Z alphabet of the top news stories of the year. Well, tonight, a search for missing children, a series of strikes, a new pope, and much more as CTV's Stephanie Seekos picks up things at the letter J.
In part two of our recap of the major stories from the past year, we begin with J for job action. From Air Canada to Canada Post and several university strikes, thousands of people walked off the job this year. More than 1,000 full-time faculty at Dalhousie University were locked out just ahead of the start of the school year, impacting classes for thousands of students. Part-time faculty at Mount St. Vincent University and St. Mary's University went on strike in October for 3 weeks. K is for King. Dennis King stepped down as Prince Edward Island's premier after 6 years in the role.
I have had the great honor and pleasure to have been premier during what I believe has been a very consequential time in our province's history.
Just over a week later, King was appointed as the ambassador to Ireland. The PC caucus chose MLA Rob Lance as the party's interim leader. He was sworn in as premier on February 21st, the same day King's resignation took effect. But he resigned from the job on December 11th in an official bid for the party's permanent leadership. That vote is scheduled for February. MLA Blois Thompson was then sworn in as premier, the third person to hold the office this year. L is for lobsters. A pair of rare lobsters became a must-see attraction this summer in Dartmouth. The cotton candy-colored lobster is said to be 1 in 100 million. It was named Moon Mist after the iconic Nova Scotia ice cream flavor. The other lobster, named Bingo after a children's cartoon character, is split red and black. It is believed to be 1 in 50 million. M is for missing children. Jack and Lily Sullivan were reported missing from their home in Lansdowne Station, Nova Scotia on May 2nd.
I never gave up hope since day one, and I want to see them brought home. That's the main objective here.
Countless searches have taken place, spanning dozens of kilometers for 6-year-old Lily and Jack, who would now be 5. In late September, RCMP brought in cadaver dogs to search for the siblings, but nothing was found. Court documents released in the summer suggest investigators do not think the children's disappearances involved foul play. N is for Northern Lights. Maritimers were treated to a dazzling display in November. It is fairly rare to see the Northern Lights in our region, but a severe geomagnetic storm triggered an active aurora borealis, leading to the spectacular sight. O is for offshore wind. Ottawa is prepared to work with Nova Scotia to ramp up its ambitious plans for Canada's first offshore wind farms. The goal is to harness Nova Scotia's offshore wind resources to provide renewable energy for Atlantic Canada and strengthen connections between provinces. The Wind West project was among 5 others selected by Prime Minister Carney, which are still in the early stages. P is for Pope. Pope Francis died in April at the age of 88. In his 12 years as Pope, he became known for his non-traditional papacy and made history for delivering a long-awaited apology for the Roman Catholic Church's role in Canadian residential schools. Weeks following his death, the first American Pope was elected. Catholic cardinals broke with tradition in electing Chicago-born missionary Robert Prevost. The 69-year-old spent his career ministering in Peru and took the name Leo XIV. Q is for QMJHL. There were some ups and downs in the Quebec Maritimes Junior Hockey League, particularly in New Brunswick. The Acadie Bathurst Titan were sold late last year and have now relocated to St. John's, Newfoundland this year. They are now called the Newfoundland Regiment. Meanwhile, the Moncton Wildcats won the Q League for just their 3rd time ever and the first time since 2010. They made it to the Memorial Cup semifinal, where they lost to the London Knights. That concludes part 2 of our A to Z series, looking back into some of the most notable stories of 2025. We'll pick back up with R tomorrow night.